Hey everybody, how's it going? So we're doing another math lesson here. Yeah, looking really fun this one. So let's first review some pictographs. So the lesson that I hope that you all did last week, the video that I first sent out. So let's take a look at this one. So favorite drink, all right? So it looks like they're using happy face to represent people, right? And then they're going to be using the legend or the key that each person actually is four people, right? So each one of these little happy faces is actually four people. So let's look. All right, this is what I want you all to do. I want you to pause the video, and I want you to tell me each how many people like apple juice, milk, orange juice, and water. Okay? Pause the video, see if you can do that, and then we'll go over it together. All right? Excellent. Pause it now. Okay, so now that you've done it, I'm hoping that we can do this together. So apple juice, let's count by fours. So we have 4, 8, 12, 16, 20, 24. So 24, so my hands are big and it's hard to write on this. 24 people like apple juice. Milk, let's see, 4, 8, and then what's half of 4? Half of 4 has to equal 2, right? So we got 4, 8 plus 2 equals 10. And now let's go to orange juice. 4, 8, 12. So we have 12 people that like orange juice. And let's go to water. So we have 4, and then remember what's half of 4? 2. So 4 plus 2 equals 6. So 6 people are the healthiest and are just drinking water, which is a good thing. Excellent. Okay, so now we are moving on to our next section, which is bar graphs. So we're going to take these symbols and we're going to flip them up so we can use them in a bar. All right. All right, excellent. So now we're moving on to the graphs, right? So a bar graph. So if we look on the left side here, the one that I'm circling, that right there looks very similar to a pictograph, isn't it? Right? It looks very similar. Essentially is a pictograph. We're using squares or cubes, and one cube, one picture of a cube equals one actual cube, right? So if we look at the blue one here, how many blue cubes do we have in total? And since one cube equals simply one cube, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, right? So we have 4 blue cubes. Same thing with green. We have 3 green ones. Red, we have how many? 5 red ones. And yellow, we have 4 yellow ones, right? So if you take a look at all that, those are a pictograph. And now let's look at the right here. So if we go to the right where I'm circling here, that essentially looks pretty similar, doesn't it? If you look at the left with the pictograph and then you look at the bar graph, it looks pretty similar. The only thing that's different is that those cubes are squished together. So now imagine we take that pictograph and we put one hand on each cube and we squish them together so it's just one long big cube. That's what we're looking at here with the bar graph. But there's something that's a little different here, right? Look at the bottom. So at the bottom, instead of saying that one cube equals one cube, we just have to look at the bottom on these numbers here. So let's count up blue. So with blue, we have 1 cube, 2 cube, 3 cube, 4 cubes, right? There's 4 cubes all in here, right? And we know that because we can count the lines. So there's 1 line, 2 lines, 3 lines, 4 lines. And if we follow this line all the way down to the bottom, it should say 4 at the bottom, which it does. So that's good, right? Now let's look at the green. So if we look at the green and we draw our line all the way to the end of it, and we have that line there that comes down, and that line goes all the way to the 3. Excellent, and it does. So now let's do it with the red one. So the red goes to this line, and we follow the end line down, and that is a 5. Excellent. So now let's finally look at the yellow, and the yellow we lead to that line there, and it's the same as the blue one up top, and it's going to lead down to a 4 at the bottom, right? So that's how we're going to tell how many cubes there are using a bar graph, right? So you got the name, which I guess could be blue, green, or yellow, and then you got the number down below. And you're going to go all the way to the end of the bar graph and then follow that down, and that's going to tell you how many numbers there are there. All right, so let's move on to the next one, and we'll see how everything's working. Okay, so now we're looking at a different bar graph. So as you can see, things got flipped around a little bit. So now we have the numbers on the side going up and the information on the bottom. So take a second here and I want you to think about what we are looking at here. So it says favorite snacks at the top and number of students on the side. So what do you think we could be looking at? Just take a second there and think about it. So it looks to me like we asked a number of students what their favorite snacks are, and we broke it down into 4 different types of food. So we have muffins, bagels, fruit, and cheese. Now, I'm trying to think. Mine might be bagels or cheese. I also really like fruit too. I love food, so I think I like all of them. Dang. Okay, so now let's look. So let's take muffins, for example, right? So we have the number of students on this side here. And then the muffins, let's put the muffins in yellow. So these here are the muffins. So let's count up. We have muffins up to 1, to 2, to 3, to 4, and to 5. So how many students must like muffins as a favorite snack? Looks to me like it is 5. Right? Now let's go to bagels. So bagels, let's count up together again. So we start at 0. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, right? If we look at the very top, there's that line that goes over to the number 4. So 4 people like bagels for their favorite. Now let's go to fruit. So fruit, look at that one. Fruit's actually pretty easy, right? Because we go all the way to the top. We don't need to count up too much because look at it, it's all the way at the top, and we just need to see what the top number is, which is 7. So for fruit, it is 7. All right, and now cheese, let's look at cheese. Let's count up there. 1, 2, 3. All right, and let's double check. We can go all the way over following this line, and sure enough, it lands on the 3. So 3 students like cheese the most. All right, so let's go into the next one. And let's see if we can do one by yourself for a little bit, and then I'll help teach you it. Okay, awesome. Okay, I want everybody to be able to look at this bar graph here, and then I want you to try doing the exercises on the next slide by yourself. All right, and then I'm going to go over it, and I'll help you out with everything. But look at the next slide first. Try to do it yourself, and then you can look at my lesson here, and then we'll do it together. All right, awesome. Alrighty, so we're going to look here. Let's take a look at what is the title of the graph. So as we can see, where do titles always go? At the top. So the title of the graph should be Snacks Eaten Today. All right, so what was counted to make the graph? So let's take a look. What was counted? So on the left side, right, we have numbers of students, right? And yeah, we use those to count, but what else did we count, right? What's kind of the main information here? Right down below here, muffins, bagels, fruit, and vegetables. So to me, it looks like we counted the amount of muffins, bagels, fruit, and vegetables that the students ate today, right? So look on the side. So yeah, we look at muffins. 2 students had muffins, 7 students had bagels, 6 students had fruit, and 3 students had vegetables. All right. So now let's look at number C. What was the most common snack? What was the most common snack? So most common snack looks to me like it was bagels, right? So we look up here, bagels had 7 people compared to everyone else had less than 7, or every other food had less than 7. So in my opinion, the most common snack is bagels. So let's take a look here, and we'll draw a little bagel. Add some sesame seeds on there and everything. Excellent. So now, how many times as many people ate fruit as vegetables and muffins? So let's take a look at the vegetables. Well, actually, let's first look at fruit. So I'm going to draw up here how many people ate fruit. So if we look up and we draw all the way to the top and we draw our line across, looks like 6 people ate fruit. 6 people ate fruit. I'm just going to erase some of this stuff here. There we go. Still figuring everything out. There we go. So it looks like 6 people had fruit. And now let's look at vegetables. So if we find out how many people ate vegetables, and we draw it across, 3. So how many times does 3 go into 6? 3 go into 6, right? How many times did that happen? So let's count. So we start off at 3, and then if we do another 3, that's 6. So we only have to count 3 2 times, so it must be 2 times, right? So now let's look at the muffins. So if we go up here, how many muffins did people eat? 2. Awesome. So now how many times does 2 go into 6? So let's count again. So 2, 4, 6. So I have 3 fingers up here. So 2 went into 6 3 times. So it must be 3 times. Excellent. And now let's look at the last one. Can you tell from the graph what the most popular snack was? Explain. So can you tell what the most popular? So in my opinion, if we look at C as well, the most common and the most popular, those kind of seem like the same things, right? So now can we tell from just looking at the graph? I think we can. So let's review now. If we go back and we look at which one was the most common, it looks to me like bagels were. So it looks to me like we can tell which one is the most common, so it's bagels. So remember our bagel that we drew here. And how could we tell? Because they had the most students who were eating the bagels. All right? Excellent. Let's move on. Alrighty, so let's take a look at this new one. What is the scale of this bar graph? So remember the scale, right? Scales on our pictographs were 1 happy face equals 4 people, right? So that was a scale. And now we are looking at the thing of cubes. So 1 cubes equals how many, and in this case, number of days. So let's take a look at October to November for the number of snowy days in Calgary. So let's shade in 1 cube, right? So that's 1 cube right there. And if we draw a line across, that 1 cube lands on the number 3. All right, so 1 cube goes up 3 numbers of days. All right, so this must mean that 1 cube equals 3 days. Right? It must mean that. Because if 1 cube, if we go all the way up to our first line is 3. Right? So in that case, 1 cube must equal 3 numbers of days. And you can see our next one that we go up to, just to double check, says 6. Right? So let's go up 1 more cube, and that says number 6. And 3 plus 3 equals what? 6. So our new scale must mean 1 cube equals 3 days of snow. All right? If you are having a difficult time understanding that, go back and watch the slide a couple times, and then you'll be able to get it, I promise you. All right, take a look at this one. Take a deep look at it, because we're going to be doing some exercises on the next one, all right? I want you to try these exercises by yourself, and then you can look at the video, and you can watch everything there, okay? All right, so let's take a look here. What is the title of the graph? So remember, where do we find our titles? At the very top. So Sam's reading on weekdays. Excellent. So that's the title. What was counted to make the graph? So what was counted? Remember, we have our numbers over here, and this says the number of pages. And down here are our weekdays. So it looks to me what was counted was the number of pages that Sam read on each day during the week, right? So not on Saturday or Sunday, but just on Monday to Friday. So those look like what's counted. All right, number C. Or letter C, sorry. On which day did Sam read the fewest pages? How many pages did he read? Okay, so fewest also means what? Small, right? Least amount. So let's take a look for the smallest one here. And let's see, Monday is bigger than Tuesday, Tuesday's bigger than Wednesday, and Wednesday's smaller than Thursday and Friday, so it looks to me like it must be Wednesday. So now let's look at the cube. So let's draw a line up to the first line and go across. And that says 4 over there. So on which day did Sam read fewest pages? Wednesday. And how many pages did he read? 4 pages. Excellent. So on which day did Sam read twice as many pages as he read on Monday? So how many did he read on Monday? Let's take a look here. So on Monday, he read, let's go all the way to the top and over 12 pages, right? Now, twice as many pages as he read on Monday. And Monday he read 12. So now let's got to think, what's 12 plus 12, right? Because it's 2 times as many. 12 plus 12, think about it, equals 24. So now let's find one that goes all the way to 24. And look at, we can go up our number line here to find the number 24 right there. So now let's draw a line, and does anyone go up to 24? Oh, Friday does. Excellent. So on Friday, he read twice as many pages as he did on Monday. He's ending the week really strong, which I love to see. Excellent. Let's move on. Alrighty, so what does this graph show? So remember what we looked at last time? It was the title that we looked at first. So let's take a look at the title. So it was favorite winter activities. Excellent. So we're looking at people's favorite winter activities. And now which winter activities are we looking at? So it is building snow forts, building snowmen, skiing, sledding, and snowshoeing. So this graph shows the number of people whose favorite winter activities are either building snow forts, building snowmen, skiing, sledding, or snowshoeing in the winter. All right, excellent. I hope that's what you got. All right, this is the last one that I'm going to be explaining, because after this you should know what to do, which is excellent, and you can move on to the next ones by yourself, okay? So how many people chose building snow forts as their favorite activity? So let's look at building snow forts. And let's draw a line. Oh, look at this. We have one that's in the middle of a line here. All right? So now we got to go down here. We got to look. What is the legend here? What's the scale, right? It looks to me that 1 cube, right? 1 single cube goes up to 10. So 1 cube equals 10. Right? So we go 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60. So if what's half a 10, right? If we're in the middle of one, what's half a 10? That's 5. So let's look at building a snow fort. So we have 10, 20, 30, 40, and then remember what we said, half a 10 is 5, plus 5 because it's in the middle, right? So that equals 45. All right, so this right here is 45. So how many people were surveyed all together? So now we got to count up each one. So we have 45 people that like snowshoeing, oh sorry, not snowshoeing, building snow forts, 45. We have 1, 2, 3, so 30 people. 30 people who like building snowmen. Skiing, we have 60. Right? Sledding, we have 10, 20, 30, 40, 50. I'm going to move it down here. And snowshoeing, we have 10, plus what's half of 10 is 5, so 10 plus 5 is 15. So let's do the math now. How many people were surveyed all together? All right, let's do it together. I'm going to do it in my head. So 45 plus 30 equals 75, plus 60 equals 135, plus 50 equals 185, plus 15 equals 200. So 200 people were surveyed altogether. And now let's take a look. So how many times as many people chose building snow forts as snowshoeing? All right, so let's take a look here. So building forts, how many did we say there? There was 45 people who build forts. So 45. And how many people did snowshoeing? Let's see, 15. So no plus sign there. And 15 people did snowshoeing. So now let's count. 15 goes into 45 how many times? So 15 plus 15 equals 30, right? So we go up to 15, 15 up to 30, 30 up to 45. So we have 3. 1, 2, 3, right? So it goes into it 3 times as many. Excellent. Okay, so from here on, I want you to try out the rest of them, see how you're doing, and then you're going to be working on pages 7 and 8 of your Jump Math book, all right? Pages 7 and 8. Excellent. Thank you.